Have you ever watched the steam rise from your morning cup of tea and quietly thanked your body for one more day? My name is Eleanor. I'm 97 years old. And yes, I still get out of bed by myself, walk through my little garden in the morning, and breathe in the sunlight like it's a blessing. Not because I'm strong, not because I'm lucky, but because I care for my body in one very simple way. It's not a miracle pill, it's not a strict diet, and it's certainly not some expensive treatment. It's something I do with my hands, a soft cloth and a little awareness. Every day I gently wash 5 parts of my body, 5 small areas that most people overlook and that I believe have helped me stay independent, clear-minded, and comfortable in my own skin, even at this age. You might be surprised. These aren't the usual places, but they affect how you sleep, how you walk, how you feel, even how long you live. And today I'm going to tell you exactly what they are and why they matter more than most people think. If you're curious if you believe in small daily habits that make a big difference, then stay with me. Because by the end of this video, I'll reveal one overlooked part of the body that when cleaned properly can ease swelling, improve circulation, and even lift your mood. If you'd like to explore this journey with me, type 1 in the comments so I know you're here. And don't forget to subscribe for more insights made just for people like you, wise, seasoned, and still growing strong. Let's begin. Body part number 1, your feet. The forgotten roots of your strength. Let me take you back to when I was 75. It was winter in Ohio, and I had just stepped out onto the porch to check the mail. The wind was sharp, and the wood under my feet was cold. But what startled me wasn't the weather, it was the way my legs wobbled. My knees didn't feel like mine. I lost my balance and had to grab the railing just to stay upright. That moment frightened me more than I let on. I'd always been steady. I used to dance with my late husband Charles in our kitchen barefoot, even in our 70s. But that winter morning, I felt like my legs belonged to someone else, someone older, weaker. That's when I realized something. I had been neglecting the very parts of me that had carried me through life. My feet. People don't talk about feet much, but they are our foundation. Your feet contain over 7,000 nerve endings, all connected to your brain, spine, and vital organs like the kidneys. These nerves help regulate balanced circulation and even how your brain communicates with the rest of your body. When they're neglected, those systems start to falter quietly but steadily. When feet go unwashed, especially for seniors, bacteria and fungus love to hide in the warm, dark spaces between your toes. Your skin becomes more fragile, and the risk of cracks, infections, and dry patches increases. Over time, poor foot hygiene doesn't just affect your comfort, it affects your stability. And when you're over 65, even one fall can change everything. I didn't want to live in fear of falling, so I made a change. Each morning after brushing my teeth, I sit at the edge of my bed with a warm, damp cloth and gently clean my feet. I use mild soap, unscented, and warm water. I make sure to get between the toes, around the heels, and along the arches. But I don't stop there. I take a moment to massage the soles of my feet just with my hands. A few circular motions, nothing fancy. But it brings warmth, it brings awareness. It reminds me that these feet have walked through 97 winters, 97 summers, and every single one of life's changes. And do you know what happened after a few weeks of this little ritual? I started feeling more balanced. The morning fog in my head began to lift. My lower back, which used to ache when I stood for too long, felt more supported. It was like reconnecting with a part of myself I hadn't listened to in years. You don't need a spa. You don't need special oils or expensive tools. All you need is a soft cloth, warm water, and a minute of care. So tonight before you go to bed, or tomorrow morning when the day is just starting, try this. Wash your feet slowly and kindly. Dry them gently. And if you can, say a quiet thank you. Because these feet, they're your roots. They've held you up through grief and celebration, through pain and prayer. They've never stopped working for you. And now maybe it's time to care for them the way they've cared for you. If this small practice speaks to you, type 1 in the comments, so I know you're here. And if you'd like more thoughtful tips like this, made just for our golden years, please subscribe to the channel. You deserve to walk through every season with confidence. Now let's move on to the second body part 1. Most people don't even realize they're forgetting. Body part number 2, the navel, the small forgotten center of cleanliness. I remember the day I noticed a faint soreness near my belly button. It wasn't sharp, just a subtle irritation. At first I ignored it like most things we learn to brush off with age. But over the next few days it turned red, it started to itch. And when I finally checked in the mirror, well, let's just say it wasn't pretty. I had a mild fungal infection in my navel. Now I'll admit at 84 years old that felt embarrassing. How could something so small, so hidden, cause this much discomfort? But the truth is, the belly button is one of the most overlooked places on our bodies. And yet it's a perfect little pocket for moisture, sweat, and bacteria to gather, especially in older skin that doesn't dry as quickly as it used to. It's warm, it's dark, and it's often left untouched even after showers. Most people assume the navel keeps itself clean, but that's just not true. Our navels, especially the deeper or more recessed ones, can collect lint, skin flakes, dust, and oil. Over time, this mix becomes a breeding ground for bacteria and fungi. You might not see it at first, but the effects are there: a strange smell, dry flaking skin redness, or even low-grade infections that take weeks to clear up. After my experience, I learned that even minor infections in the navel can lead to skin inflammation, itchiness, and discomfort that messes with your sleep or even your appetite. In some cases, it can even cause a minor fever or spreading irritation on the abdomen. So I made a simple change. Now after every bath, I gently clean my navel with a soft cloth or cotton pad dampened with warm water. No soaps with strong fragrances, no harsh scrubbing, and never use a cotton swab to dig deep. That can cause micro tears or push bacteria further inside. After I clean it, I pat it completely dry, making sure there's no lingering moisture. It takes less than a minute, and yet since I started this habit, something surprising happened. I felt more put together, not just physically, but emotionally too. You see, when you care for a part of your body that the world forgets, it's like telling yourself every inch of me still matters. In this stage of life, we often feel like we're fading. Our voices aren't as loud, our routines get simpler, and some people stop seeing us the way they used to. But the body hears us. Every act of care, no matter how small, is a reminder we are still here, and we are worth every gentle touch. So next time you towel off after your shower, pause for one extra moment. Find your belly button, clean it, dry it, and maybe whisper a small thank you for holding you, for connecting your first breath of life to your mother. That space in the center of you, it deserves kindness too. If this story resonates with you, type 1 in the comments to let us know you're here. And don't forget to subscribe for more simple, powerful habits to help you feel strong, clean, and proud of your body every single day. Coming up next, we'll talk about another spot that holds more secrets than you'd think: the underarm, and why it could be the key to sleeping better and breathing easier. Stick with me. Body part number 3, the underarms. The hidden regulators of comfort and cleanliness. Let me be honest with you. There was a stretch of time in my early 80s when I felt uncomfortable in my own body. I'd shower every morning, apply deodorant like I always had, wear clean clothes, but by mid-afternoon I'd still feel itchy under my arms. Sometimes it burned a little, and worse, I started noticing a sour smell, one that made me want to keep my arms close to my sides, even around my own grandchildren. I felt embarrassed and confused. I was doing everything I'd always done, so what changed? It turns out a lot changes with age. And one of the most sensitive yet most misunderstood areas of our bodies is right where we often overlook it: our underarms. You see, your armpits aren't just a sweaty nuisance. They're a powerful hub for your body's detox system, temperature control, and even hormone balance. Here's something you may not know: the sweat glands in your underarms are called apocrine glands. They don't just release water like other sweat glands, they produce a thicker fluid that's rich in protein. This fluid, when broken down by bacteria on the skin, is what causes odor. And as we age, our skin becomes thinner and more sensitive, but those bacteria, they keep working overtime. Just covering it up with deodorant doesn't fix the problem. In fact, it can make it worse. I learned that the hard way. Most days I would just swipe on a scented roll-on and head out, but I wasn't really cleaning the area. And over time, that buildup of sweat, deodorant, and skin cells became a breeding ground for irritation and odor, especially in the folds where moisture lingers longer. I also used to shave my underarms when they were dry, thinking it saved time. Big mistake. That caused little micro tears in the skin, and what followed was folliculitis, those painful red bumps that itch for days. So I made a shift, a small one, but a wise one. Now I take a soft washcloth, a separate one just for my underarms, and after a warm shower, I gently wipe the area using just warm water and a little mild soap. I avoid scrubbing or using rough cloths, and if I ever need to shave, I do it right after the shower when my skin is soft and clean, and always with a moisturizing gel. And you know what changed? The itchiness stopped. The odor vanished. But more than that, I started sleeping better. I wasn't tossing and turning feeling damp or irritated. My body felt light and breathable again. The underarms are also located near your lymph nodes, which help filter waste and toxins from your body. Keeping that area clean and calm isn't just about hygiene, it's about supporting your entire immune system. It's funny, isn't it? How something as small as a clean underarm can lift your mood, help you rest deeper, and make you feel more like yourself again. So I say this with love. Take a moment tomorrow to gently care for this forgotten little corner of your body. It's not about looking good, it's about feeling whole. If this story makes you pause and think about your own routine type 1 in the comments to let me know you're still here with me. And please subscribe to the channel if you want more simple, heartfelt tips for living fully at any age. Next, we'll move down to the hands, not the palms, but the spaces between your fingers and under your nails, where a surprising amount of health and comfort begins. Don't miss it. It might just change how you feel the next time you reach out to hold someone you love. Body part number 4, between the fingers and under the nails. The invisible gateway to health. My great-grandson Henry once got a terrible stomach ache after coming over for Sunday lunch. He's a curious little thing, always picking up pebbles, poking in the garden, petting the neighbor's cat. That day we had roasted chicken and warm rolls, and as usual, I watched him with love while he devoured everything on his plate. But that night he had nausea and cramping. The doctor said it was likely bacteria from the hands, something invisible, something tiny, something avoidable. It made me stop and think. Not just about Henry, but about my own hands. You see, we often wash our palms. We rinse the backs of our hands. But how often do we really clean between our fingers or under our nails, especially as we age when our skin is thinner and more vulnerable and our immune systems need every bit of support they can get? The truth is, millions of bacteria live in the narrow spaces between our fingers and under the tips of our nails. And while most of them are harmless, some are not, especially for older adults with more sensitive skin and less natural oil to act as a barrier. For years, I believed a quick rinse was enough. A bit of soap, a little rub and done. But as I got older, I noticed something. My hands felt dry, itchy, and sometimes even had tiny cracks near the knuckles. One day I read that under the fingernails can harbor more bacteria than a toilet seat. That image stayed with me, so I changed the way I care for my hands. Now, every morning after I brush my teeth, I take a soft nail brush, nothing too rough, and gently scrub between each finger, around the cuticles, and under my nails with warm soapy water. Not in a hurry, not like a chore, more like a quiet moment of attention. If my nails are short, I still clean underneath. And if they're long, I check for any dirt or buildup I may not see at first glance. I also use a clean towel to dry between my fingers, making sure no moisture lingers in the folds. You'd be amazed at how much cleaner, lighter, and safer you feel when your hands are truly clean. But it's not just about germs. When your hands are clean, you eat more comfortably. You can touch your face without worry. You can hold a loved one's hand with quiet confidence. It becomes more than hygiene. It becomes a small act of dignity. And for me, it became something deeper. Because these hands, these fingers, they've held babies, peeled apples, written letters, wiped tears. They've done a lifetime of work, so now I care for them with the tenderness they've always shown others. I believe clean hands are a kind of quiet prayer, a way of saying I'm still here, still alive, still showing up clean, present, and aware. So if you haven't already, take a closer look at your hands today. Look under your nails, wiggle your fingers, see the little spaces that need your attention. Then tomorrow morning, give them an extra minute of care. Not for vanity, not for anyone else, just for you. If this reminder touched something in you, type 1 in the comments so we know you're with us. And if you'd like more stories like this about small changes that bring great comfort, please subscribe to the channel. Next, we'll talk about the most overlooked body part of all, one that's deeply private yet essential for peaceful sleep and lasting comfort. I hope you'll stay with me for that. Body part number 5, the groin area, the silent space that shapes comfort and confidence. This one is a little harder to talk about, but I believe it matters, so I will. There was a season around age 86 when I started waking up several times each night, not from pain, not from nightmares, but from a quiet, persistent discomfort, a warm dampness in my lower body that left me feeling unsettled, almost embarrassed though I was alone in the dark. At first I thought it was just part of aging, but that sense of being not quite clean, of feeling damp, sticky, or just off in the groin area was slowly stealing my sleep and with it my peace. No one ever really tells you this, but as we get older, that sensitive area between our legs, the folds of skin near the thighs, hips, and groin, becomes more delicate and more easily irritated. And when it's not cared for properly, it can quietly affect your whole day and your whole night. This area is close to both the urinary tract and genital region, meaning it's naturally more prone to moisture, sweat, and even tiny traces of urine. Left unaddressed, that moisture creates an ideal environment for bacteria, fungus, and skin irritation. For some, it leads to itching, odor, or even mild infections. For others, it's just that nagging feeling of not feeling fresh, even right after a shower. But it doesn't have to be that way. Once I realized what was going on, I made a small, respectful shift in my routine. Each morning, and again in the evening, I take a soft washcloth dampened with warm water, no heavy soaps, no strong fragrances, and I gently clean the groin area. I don't scrub, I don't reach too far. I just wipe lightly around the folds where moisture likes to hide. Then I pat it completely dry every time. If you wear incontinence pads or experience light leakage, this step becomes even more important. Keeping that area dry and breathable can make a world of difference in your comfort and confidence. And here's the part I didn't expect. Once I began this simple habit, I started sleeping better. Not waking from restlessness or discomfort, not tossing from warmth or itchiness, just peaceful, uninterrupted rest. I felt cleaner. I felt lighter. I felt like my body was no longer trying to get my attention. And maybe more than anything, I felt respected by myself. Because for all the ways we show love to our children, to our spouses, to our friends, sometimes we forget to show it to our own bodies, especially the parts that no one else sees. This area is intimate, yes, but it's also essential. Cleanliness here isn't about vanity, it's about dignity. It's about knowing that even in silence, even in solitude, you're treating yourself with care. So if this part of the conversation made you pause, even just for a second, I invite you to add this little act of tenderness to your day. You don't need fancy products. You don't need youth. You just need a soft cloth, warm water, and a few seconds of attention. If this message speaks to you, type 1 in the comments so I know you're listening. And if you'd like to continue learning how to feel better, rest better, and live with more ease at every age, please subscribe to the channel. Coming up, I'll share a quiet reflection, something I've learned in all my 97 years about why these small acts of cleanliness have helped me live longer, feel lighter, and love myself more with each passing day. You won't want to miss it. At 97, I don't know how many more birthdays I have ahead of me, but what I do know deeply quietly is that every time I take the time to wash these small, often forgotten parts of my body, I am choosing to live with care, not for anyone else, not for show, but for me. Because these 5 simple acts, washing my feet, cleaning my navel, tending to my underarms, caring for my hands, and gently refreshing my most private areas, have nothing to do with vanity and everything to do with dignity. You don't need to run 5 miles. You don't need 10 expensive supplements. You don't even need perfect health. You just need a soft cloth, a few quiet minutes, and the belief that your body still matters. So tonight, just try one. Pick the area you've ignored the longest, the one you hesitate to touch, the one that silently asks for your attention. Care for it, gently. Your body will feel it, and it just might thank you with deeper sleep, less irritation, and a little more peace. Growing older does not mean growing weaker, not if you're still willing to honor yourself in the smallest of ways. So be kind to your body, because it's been carrying you through everything, and it's still listening, still trying, still hoping you'll treat it like a home worth caring for. Before you go, I'd love to hear from you. Which part of the body do you think most people forget to clean as they grow older? Type it in the comments below. Your story might be the one that helps someone else feel seen, understood, and cared for. And if this video helped you look at your body with a little more kindness today, please give it a like, share it with someone you love, and subscribe for more thoughtful, senior-friendly health advice made just for our golden years. We may be older, but we are not invisible. Your presence matters. Your comfort matters. In this little community we're building, one gentle habit at a time, is here to remind you your body is still worth caring for every single day.